This video will help you with exponential expression word problems numerical. So the situation says the number of bacteria in a petri dish is multiplied by a factor of 1.2. There were initially 500 bacteria. So multiplied by a factor means we're going to be multiplying, not adding. And if there were initially 500, we're going to multiply that by 1.2 to the x, giving us our exponential curve. So the starting point times my growth factor to the x power. Which expression gives the number of bacteria after 3 hours? So what's happening is we're taking 1.2 multiplied by our initial starting value, which is 500. We're multiplying it by 1.2 again, and then we're multiplying it by 1.2 again. And we can double check this by plugging in a 3 for our x here, making sure it gives us the same number, and it does. So the only option that makes sense is B, because this one we're adding, which we don't add in exponential functions. This one is adding, which again, we're not adding in exponential functions. This one we're multiplying, but then for some reason they added the growth factors together, which is not true because it says multiplied by a factor of 1.2. This next question says, Fidel has a rare coin worth $550. Each decade, the coin's value increases by 10%. So you start at $550, and then we're increasing by 10%. So I know that 10% as a decimal is 0.1, and then in order to make it a growth factor, we have to put a 1 out in front of it. And then to the x power. Which expression gives the coin's value 6 decades from now? So x is telling me the number of decades. It's giving me a 6. I'm going to go ahead and plug a 6 in there. And then find which one in Khan Academy gives me this option. So this is all adding. We're adding. We don't want to be adding. We want to be multiplying with exponential functions. This one looks close, except for this is a decay factor. So it's losing value, which is not what we want. This is also going to be a pretty good option. So we're multiplying the 550 by the growth factor. We can also write this growth factor as 1 plus the 0.01 and get the same number. So what I wrote here is the same as this. And we multiply it by 550. And then this one, we added the growth factor, or we added the 10% with the initial starting point, which is not going to give us what we need because 1, this is decaying. 2, we're not multiplying the growth factor in the initial value. So it's got to be C. We'll do one more together. This says Shada invests $1,000 in a certificate of deposit that earns interest. The investment's value is multiplied by 1.02 each year. So we're starting with 1,000. We're multiplying by 1.02 to get our exponential function. Which expression gives the investment's value after 5 years? So what that means is we're going to have this multiplied 5 times. So ultimately this x is going to be a 5. Now what I'm looking for is that the growth factor and that my initial starting value are multiplied together. Here they're added, so it can't be that. Here they're added, so it can't be that. Here they're giving me a growth factor of 1 plus 1.02, which is giving me a 2.02 as my growth factor. It can't be that one. So the only option that makes sense is going to be B, which is what we originally typed in Desmos. So use this video to help you with the rest of your problem.